Hi guys, welcome back to Mama SOJ vlog. How you guys doing? If you are new here, you are welcome, and if you are returning subscriber, God bless you as you always come back to watch my video. My people don't be smart, you know, and I know some are different news now they land from my table, and as the news they come, that's why they carry and call you to come share with you. My people, for today's video, go to watch her together with you. All right, my people, we could go watch the video to see what really the apple for inside the video. My people,
legal knowledge. Is it your sense that there are no legal consequences for the failure to use electronic voting, for instance? Because it's been suggested that the Electoral Act allows both manual and electronic processes. So Inec could easily argue that if the electronic process failed, it was perfectly legal and admissible for it to use the manual process. Do you see that as a credible defense at the tribunal?
No, again, I wouldn't want to go into the petitions. Dr. Olisa Agbakoba, SCN, and I were discussing yesterday. And it drew my attention to the recent judgment by the Court of Appeal in the case of Adeleke, and Oyetola in Osun State, where the Court of Appeal simply went back to the voters' register and abandoned the Beaver's report as it were. Now, that is a bit disturbing. So I can also see that being raised, that Inec has the power to switch. And for me, this is an area we have to look at very, very well. We must move. We must move with time. And if there is any takeaway from this election, it is the revolution by the introduction of Beaver's report. A friend was telling me, a former resident electoral commissioner, he was drawing my attention to a state whereby up to 2019, the results that came from a particular area, a riverine area, the result was not less than 150,000, 150,000 people that voted. But this time around, less than 5,000. Because you must be captured by the Beaver's machine. So the old manipulation or writing of results, has been reduced substantially. Even though where you recorded violence and voters were chased from the polling unit, some criminal elements still wrote results. I do hope that a number of them will be exposed at the various election petition tribunals so that we also can learn that it can no longer be business as usual,
But in the circumstances that you were talking about earlier, about it being, about INEC possibly having a credible defense, with the either, manual or electronic processes and having the option, do you see INEC, for instance, working collaboratively with the other respondents and defendants, for example, the APC, Bola Tinubu, in order to win their case? Because now they've been called in as they're a defendant.
Again, as I said earlier, under the current electoral system, the INEC has conducted an election or elections, and the INEC will normally go to the tribunal or the court to say, we conducted a good election and we have declared the results. So usually, the INEC or state electoral commissions, usually, and normally, will go to the tribunal to say, we are defending the elections we conducted. But there are situations where the Inec or the electoral body may be compelled to abandon defending some results. We have had cases where the Inec on its own had taken advantage of Section 65 of the Electoral Act to annul results that were declared under duress. I mean, one of them, I think it was Kano.
Yeah.
Now, if INEC could do that, it may also be possible in certain cases where there was no review, for INEC to go to the tribunal and defend some of the results of the election. Yeah. So that's my own way of looking at it.
Right.
Again, it depends on the evidence produced.
No, absolutely. And as you look back at that election and at the Electoral Act, which enabled what some see as a flawed election, what problems do you now see with the Electoral Act that need to be fixed going forward to make future elections more secure? Will it be, for instance, to find a way to make INEC much more independent, which you touched on earlier, independent of the government of the day than it currently is, and much less burdened with all the things that it has to do to conduct the election?
You know, it interests you, Charles, to know that apart from the late President Yaradua, I set up an electoral reforms panel. The Jonathan administration set up the Ahmed Lemu panel on the violence that greeted the announcement of the presidential election result in 2011. The Buhari administration set up the Ken Nnamani Electoral Reform Panel. And all the panels, the three panels, made profound recommendations to move the country forward and have good elections conducted. For me, we have to go back to those reports, particularly the Ways Electoral Reform Panel.
Right.
And for me, that would be the solutions to this problem. Take, for instance, the recommendation on, and it's so important, on the prosecution of electoral offender, because there's no way you are going to stop snatching of ballot boxes, inducement of voters, manipulation of results, declaration of results under duress, instigated by certain criminally, minded politicians. If you do not have an independent body that can prosecute electoral offender, because the belief is that nothing will happen. And that was why I demanded, after the February 25th presidential election, National Assembly election, please, all the people that have been arrested by the police, take them to court, so that those who might want to commit electoral offenses during the governorship and House of Assembly elections will be minded to believe, to know that we could be arrested and persecuted. But nothing like that happened. I think apart from Lagos, where a few guys were charged by the Commissioner of Police in Lagos, all the other places. In fact, we had a situation where
very briefly
cases were filed deliberately, programmed to fail in Kano. A legislator was accused of culpable homicide, murder. The magistrate that had no jurisdiction order is remand to await the legal advice of the Attorney General. I think a couple of days later, the case emerged in the Federal High Court that has no jurisdiction on murder cases. And the man was freed to contest an election that had been annulled because he had himself declared under duress. In Rivers State, a legislator was caught, I think, with about $498,000, with which he wanted to induce voters. Due to the influence of the state government, he was charged with money laundering. No. It's required to be charged under the Electoral Act.
Well,
again, these cases are programmed to fail. But if you have an independent body saddled with the responsibility to prosecute electoral offenders, the picture will be different. Happily, this time around, the Nigerian Bar Association has entered into an agreement with Inec to have all those who have been arrested prosecuted. The police arrested over 700 electoral offenders.
Pro bono services, I understand.
I'm not quite sure about that. But the MD has assembled, according to the report, not less than 300 lawyers to assist the country in having suspected electoral offenders prosecuted.
Okay.
Which is a good development.
Yes. I want to thank you very much indeed. There was one more thing I had wanted to get to, but unfortunately we ran out of time. But Femi Falana, it's always an absolute delight to have the benefit of your assessment. And Femi Falana is a respected constitutional lawyer, human rights activist, and senior advocate of Nigeria. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
My people, now the video now on a new watch finish so. On a see what happen for inside the video. All right, my people. I would like to end the video for you. Make una let me know waiting on a thing for the comment section. And if una never subscribe, make una subscribe so that una not go miss any latest gist way I dey upload. Now bye bye till I come on our next time. Bye guys, catch you in the next video. Bye guys.